Okay, in our last video, we talked about this problem that came from the 2003 Calculus A-B test. It was Form B, and it was from the free response section, and it was a part of the exam where you were allowed to use a calculator. And we set this up, and I said this is just a part of the problem, and that there's this area R that's this red area bounded between here and here, and then there's in the first part of the problem it said we were forced to prove that this line right here is a line tangent to the curve, and then they ask us to find the area S, and it's the area under 18 minus 3x and over this. And we started talking about, well, how would we do that? And we talked about making a triangle, that you could do this by making a triangle here, because there's a perfect right triangle, and subtracting it out. We talked about the fact that we could take the integral from here to here of the green curve and subtract out the integral from here to here of the red curve. And then I started to say, look, here's some supporting documentation for how you could do this otherwise. And I started, and I realized, you know what, it's crazy. I'm not going to start that yet. So I went ahead and did that. Please keep in mind that this is the curve. The red curve is the curve 4x squared minus x cubed, and the green curve is the curve 18 minus 3x. So what we did was we figured out that this triangle here, right, was 3 across, 9 high, 27. It's a right triangle, so we divided by 2, and we got an area of 27 halves. And then I said, well, that's too much area. We need to subtract out this integral. And it's the integral of 4x squared minus x cubed. And we know, you know what? I can prove this to you. Let me do this right. Let me do this really quick and see if I can't do this. This will be helpful, I hope. So I'm going to go to here. I'm going to put points, a point on. I was hoping it was going to give me that point. It's the 0.30, but that's fine. It's the 0.30. Anyway, so keep in mind, we're going to take this triangle and we're going to subtract out this little bit of piece right here. And I want to help you to figure out what is it that you need to write down on your AP Calculus exam, even though you're using a calculator, to make your reader say, yes, this person is providing the right documentation. So here we go. This is how I did this. Remember, we found that right triangle. It had a base of 3, right? Because it went from 3 to 6 at the base. And its height was from 0 to 9, so it had a base of 9. So 3 times 9 is 27. It was a right triangle, so it was half of that, right? And then when we went back here, we realized that we wanted to take out this piece. And I'm telling you that this x value is 3, and this one is 4. So I want to take out this integral right here. I want to take out this area right here. So that's what I did. This is me taking out that area. So I took the definite integral from 3 to 4 of that red curve dx, and it came out to be 95/12. So let's just do this really, really quickly. So how would you do this on your calculator? So you're at your calculator, right? You hit menu. When you hit menu, this is what gets pulled down. You choose calculus. You want an integral. Whoops, let's not get there yet. First thing you want to do is take your 27 halves, right? So first let's take the area of the rectangle. So control division gives you a fraction bar, and it was 27 halves, right? Right. Now, as I'm saying this is exactly what I'd be writing down to describe how I came up with my answer. You getting this answer here of 7.91667, that's all well and good, but please hear me on this. It is worth almost nothing on the exam. This is worth more points than the actual answer. So remember that when we looked, we said we were going to take the integral from 3 to 4, right? That's the part that we were going to subtract out, 3 to 4. And remembering it was 4x squared, so 4x squared minus x cubed. And I hope you're staying with me just for another second, because I want to show you one little thing that your calculator tends to do, and you can decide what you want to do about that. So here I've set that thing up, and there's this answer. If you provide that answer on the AP exam, they're fine with it, they're going to be happy. But if it bothers you, then what you can do is you can just hit Control, and if you look it was the key was blue. If you look over the inner key, there's the approximation key. So it'll give you the approximate answer, and that's how I got that. So this is the documentation that you would put to support yourself. I'm going to say this again because it really bears repeating. The answer itself is worth almost nothing. This notation is worth more than the answer itself. As a matter of fact, I've been told that if you have this notation but you don't actually put the numerical answer, you can still get full credit. But you cannot put the numerical answer without the notation and get any credit. So I hope this was helpful. I truly do. If you have other questions or ways that I can do this better, please let me know. I'd be glad to receive that information.